Hello and welcome to the EFRA 1/10 four-wheel drive off-road European Championships, where the best drivers in the continent do battle under the Spanish blue sky. Before we get stuck in, let's take a look at one of the latest four-wheel drive buggies to hit the track, making its debut at the Worlds in California.
Most drivers complain about 10 scale four-wheel is that they can't drive it at 100%. With this, they don't have to, they can just let it all out and drive as fast as they dare.
It's so much better than everything else I've driven. It's just the confidence I have in it, the durability of it, and how hard I can drive it is really exciting.
We go into a race never thinking, will the car break? We just run it. Ty can drive it the way he can, the way he wants to. He can be smooth. If he needs aggression, he can do it, and there's 100% confidence.
At the Roar Nationals, that was the very first race we ever raced this. It's never entered in a local club race or anything. Just right out of the gate, we did the Roar Nationals. So yeah, that was quite nerve-wracking, and then Ty goes out and TQs the first round by 6 seconds, so I think it was a big sigh of relief.
In a race, if Ty's in the lead, he will drive conservative like anyone else. But when it comes down to catching someone, you need to drive a car, push it to its limits. And the cars he's run, the four wheels he's run in the past, he never felt like he was always worried. He never felt he could do what he needs to do.
If you're going to race the best in the world, you need to have the best car to do it, and you need to be at your best, and everything needs to go well. Just having that peace of mind that it's not going to fall apart on you is just, every other car, I think, kind of, from what I've ran anyway, you kind of worry about that, but with this car, it's just, you just know it's going to finish.
Well, let's get down to business with your commentator, Jorn Neumann.
So let's have a look at the grid for the EFRA 1/10 four-wheel drive electric off-road championship here on RC Racing TV. Lee Martin for Great Britain is on pole position on our Proline grid rundown, with Jorn Neumann, the German, on second. Hupo Hoenigel on grid 3. Martin Beyer, the Czech Republic driver, from grid 4. Neil Cragg, another Brit, of grid 5. David Ronenfalt won't be happy with grid number 6, and Darren Bloomfield, another Brit. Watch his fast starts from grid 7. Paul Bradby, yet another Britisher, grid 8. Lorenzo Crawler, the Frenchman, on 9, and rounding up the top 10 at 10 is Martin Creel. Proline and Team Durango bringing you this coverage of the EFRA 1/10 four-wheel drive electric, and we are off and running. Lee Martin from pole position with that very bright X-ray buggy gets off in the lead. Jorn Neumann on the white buggy with the yellow wheels in second place, and begins to challenge straight away as they go onto the cobbles. 4 different surfaces here over the tabletop. It is very difficult to get the buggies set up. A very challenging course here in Spain. Now onto the AstroTurf again, and around to complete the first lap, and it is the poleman who settles down. Now the Brit over the whoops. You can double some of those, but you've got to be pretty brave. Battle's going on further back down the field. I think Martin Beyer was coming up there through, as the leader makes a little bit of a mistake and goes right over it. It was Beyer. It was Beyer who came through. That is Martin Beyer, who's come through from grid 4 to lead. So Jorn Neumann, defending champion, has been pushed back down just a little bit, and Lee Martin will be spitting that he's lost that great lead. He was pulling away from the battles behind him, and those whoops on the far side of the circuit are certainly causing some issues for the drivers. But this is tidy stuff from Martin Beyer, the Czech Republic driver, trying to keep the buggy on the ground over the tabletop and onto the cobblestones again, and beautifully controlling the attitude of the buggy in the air. Exactly what you've got to do, and he's singling those whoops now. Have got to be careful on the curbstones as well here. They are very unforgiving, as you can see. The blue and white curbs sticking up from the edges. You cannot run over them, and there's 1 or 2 places where there are a couple of little holes in the dirt as well, notably at this corner here, and he's caught the edge of the corner. Oh, caught the left front tyre, and that now has cut his lead back, but that is not Jorn Neumann behind him. That is Lee Martin coming back. So after that first mistake from Lee, he's using the speed that we know that he has from his qualifying performance to get back into some kind of contention. Short races these, really cannot leave anything out there performance-wise on the track. And Lee Martin, our fastest qualifier, in second place now, putting the pressure on Martin Beyer at the head of the field. These two are streaking away from the rest of the field. Jorn Neumann is holding on to third position at the moment. You can just get a little glimpse of his white buggy there in the bottom of the pictures. So when will Lee choose to have a look at the leader? He's not really close enough, is he? This is good driving. And again, you can see them trying to keep the buggies on the ground as much as possible as they drift through. Now, here comes Lee. Lee's putting the pressure on now. Can he get down the inside into the hairpin? No, he can't. But you could see there he was beginning to get himself into position across the tabletop, but through the chicane into the hairpin. That double... Oh, there's a touch. There's a touch there. And I'm not sure that that would have been allowed to stand, even had Lee not gone on his roof there. But he showed no chance of letting Martin back through. Let's have another look here. Oh yes, definitely a touch there. Absolutely no way that the judges would have allowed that. However, fate took a hand and Lee Martin ends up on his roof for the second time in this first of the finals. And to be honest, mark that day in your diary. Very unusual that Lee makes one mistake, never mind two, and both of them, interestingly, while he was in the lead. But he's back with Martin Beyer now. Beyer with the blue on the back of his buggy, the colours reversed on the second place. And again, Lee gets the whoops wrong. 3 times we've seen him struggle when the buggy has been airborne, and 3 times it's cost him a chance of the lead, or at least a pop at the lead, and that's left Martin Beyer now surely able to cruise home. He can take a little bit of a breath, and he's just got to get back into his rhythm now and start reeling these laps off. Look, we've almost got the full length of the straight before Lee Martin comes into view in second, but such is the pace that it is only the white buggy in third there of Jorn Neumann who is anywhere near, and the marshal there just getting ready to jump out. Amazing just how much control these guys have got. And again, a mistake by Lee. He's going to be kicking himself. He's done all the hard work in qualifying. He had the lead at the start of the race, threw it away, fought back, got into the lead, threw it away, got back to second in a challenging position, and threw it away again. He's untidy, and this is not what we expect to see. So here is Martin Beyer at the front of the field. Again, the pressure is beginning to come from behind, and once again, it's in the shape of Lee Martin. The Czech Republic driver starts his last lap. Has he got the concentration to hold on to it? He almost throws it away. And now he knows he's in a real dogfight. Lee Martin in second place begins to apply the pressure, turning up the heat. No quarter has to give it at this level. Across the tabletop for the final time, maybe 1, maybe 2 more chances. This is where Lee had a go last time. He can't make it stick. He'll have a go in the air. He's coming up to the line. My goodness me, nothing between it. Martin Beyer takes it from Lee Martin in second. Jorn Neumann holds on to third. Darren Bloomfeld up from grid 7 to grid 4 ahead of Hupo Honigel, Neil Cragg, Martin Crail, Lorenzo Crawler, Brad B and Ron Falk at the back of the field. Well, for the man from grid 4, Martin Beyer, the equation is easy. Win it and you're European champion. Through onto the whoops for the first time. Oh, collision in the air between Honegal and Martin Beyer. And those are two of the very fast guys, and one of the guys who surely was the favourites, having won the first running of the final, the first part of the final here. And that has left Lee Martin in the lead. Jorn Neumann in second place, the defending champion at this event. My goodness me. Carnage behind. Oh, and there's Neil Cragg. Neil Cragg rolling from grid 5. He was up into third position, rolled it at the end of the very fast start-finish straight. That's not an accident we've seen happen. And there's the leader going over again. Lee Martin has made more mistakes here this weekend in Spain than I've seen, I don't know, maybe in 2 or 3 seasons for him. Maybe he was just trying a little bit too hard. Maybe he was getting too much grip from the buggy. But he's now ceded the lead to Jorn Neumann. And this is a man who knows how to win. Jorn has been at the front of many fields, has lots of shiny objects on his mantelpiece that he has won at these kind of championships. Now, who's that in third position? That's David Ronefalk, who's come up from grid 6. We saw him win the 1/8 a couple of months ago here on RC Racing TV, so we know that he has got the pedigree. And now, with that midfield getting really just wiped out on this part of the circuit on the first lap, that's given him a great chance now. And the real interesting part as far as the scoring's concerned is the man that won the first final, Martin Beyer, is out of the running here. And remember, it's the best 2 finishers that count towards the European Championship, the EFRA 1/10ths here in Spain this weekend. And you can see that in second place, Lee Martin just going a little bit wide, and again he's getting leery. You saw going round that first left-hander that he was laying big rooster tails of dirt spinning up the rear wheels, and you don't want to see that really. You want to be getting the power onto the ground through the tyres and not wasting it by spinning them up. There is your leader, Jorn Neumann, the German. And I have to say, I would be surprised if he throws this one away. We've seen him be supremely calm and collected when in these positions in the past. He fought for it, he put the pressure on, and he has got into the lead. And now the battle is for second place. And Lee Martin, who's the pole man here, the fastest qualifier, has not covered himself in glory. Had a lot of problems with the airborne sections in the first final. He seems, he says, hoping not to impart the curse of the commentator, to have smoothed those pieces out, but he's now losing his concentration and the momentum of the car on some of the more twisty on the ground parts of the circuit. And this is unlike him, a little bit out of sorts. He was absolutely outstanding in the qualifying, and the leader's had an issue. The leader has had an issue. So Jorn Neumann, despite me building him up, has gone off at the first corner, and all of that lead he built up has disappeared in a blink of an eye. And now the top 3 are together, all in the same camera shot. And you can see that what this means to all of these drivers as Lee almost gets it wrong. That's actually a really good recovery. If he just kept the power on there, he would have flipped over and lost second place through the ultra-quick first corner. And Neumann just gets himself out of straight. And there's a battle for second. And through into second place goes David Ronefalk. So Ronefalk now has sticked his claim for this second final on the Kyosho as he tries to track down the Team Durango buggy of Jorn Neumann at the head of the field. Yakomo for Lee in third place. There's 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 at the moment. And Neumann just... Isn't it interesting that when people come under pressure and they're trying to eke out just a little bit more speed, get those lap times down, just how ragged they get. And there is the, well, you see, proven wrong. I said I can't see anywhere that Neumann will give this away, and he comes under pressure for Ronefalk, and Ronefalk goes through into the lead. This is a tremendous run from David Ronefalk, and now side by side again, and that's very aggressive driving by Neumann. That's how you win European Championships. We've seen him do that before as well, and he retakes it. Maybe he's just had a little word with himself. He will be just taking a little breath and trying to get himself back into the rhythm. So the lead has changed and changed back again. Let's have a look at the first one. Here's Neumann, just gets a little bit out of sorts there on the cobbles. Well, that's not really driver error there. That is just trying to deal with the conditions. And now look at this, gets on the power nice and early here, straightens it up the corner, little bit of side to side contact, but I'm sure that our clerk of the course will have no issue with that. All rough and tumble, nobody really disadvantaged by that, and you've got to allow those types of overtakes to go through. And we're hearing that our race director has had a look at that and is quite happy with it. So as they come round, this is the last lap, and coming across the line, it will be Jorn Neumann who wins it. You know, normally we've got it won by this part of the day, but this third final will count, and David Ronefalk from grid number 6 can still win it, as can Jorn Neumann from 2, as can Martin Beyer from 4, and of course Lee Martin from pole position. He has to have the best chance, but he's got to get rid of the mistakes he's been making in the earlier finals. So off goes Lee Martin, and he again gets the start, but he's done this before. This time though, no kerfuffle behind him, and he's got Neumann in there in second place. So Lee Martin's done it again! I don't believe it! That's 3 times, and again there's carnage behind as the marshal runs across and tries to scoop up as many cars as he can, and that's Neumann. Neumann has got out in front, and Beyer's come through. Beyer's come through again from grid 4. Well, this is how Martin got in the position to win this. And look at that! Beyer is going for it all. That is really brave driving, and Martin Beyer, the Czech Republic driver, is staking his claim now for this European Championship, the EFRA 1/10 4-wheel electric with Proline and Team Durango here in RC Racing TV. Well, if that wins the European Championship, that is a move that is worthy of it, because he risked everything there over the whoops. Now, will he do it again? Big squirt of speed. Yes, he does. And look at how much he's pulling out. Meantime, it's Neil Cragg coming through into 3rd position there. And across the tabletop again goes the leader. Well, Honeygall has dropped out of it. Neil Cragg coming up from 5th. Where's Ronefalk? Ronefalk's still got to be in this. Remember, he's still in with a chance. Lee Martin's still in with a chance, but Martin Beyer is off in the lead at the moment, and this would be a tremendous run for him. Benefited from the incidents in the first final, and now he's doing it again. But you've got to say that was bravery of the, well, utmost to take the lead. And I'm not sure Jorn Neumann, even with all of his experience, has ever been past airborne quite like that before. And again, you see the height that Beyer is getting, and there is the 2nd place driver going over, and that was a mistake by Jorn Neumann, and that could be his championship chances disappearing. He could be handing the trophy to someone else. Defending champ, of course. This is marvellous stuff. Martin Beyer goes through again. Martin, of course, with plenty of experience himself. And now, in 2nd place, Neil Cragg from grid number 5. Now, Neil not really in with a shout of the championship, but I see it's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you let him through and risk the points? You've really got to go for the points. I haven't done the count back yet because my socks and shoes are still on, but I think Martin Beyer will want to take this in style, and I think he will want to have no worries at all about count back. A win here would confirm him as European 1/10 4-wheel drive electric off-road champion. He's won championships in the past, and he knows how to bring it home. I'm still reeling from that overtaking manoeuvre that he pulled on Neumann early on, and he is now consolidating himself at the head of the field. Meantime, the battle for 2nd and 3rd is Cragg, and is that Neumann just getting back underway in 3rd position? I think it is. And Neumann there with the white buggy with the yellow wheels, and Ronefalk, in fact, as I look at the timing screen, is up into 2nd place. So Martin Beyer leading it from Ronefalk in 2nd. Another good run from Ronefalk, and he's in with a chance of the championship as well. And he's beginning to close in on the leader. Well, I thought this was all over. And David Ronefalk from grid number 6, remember, he had the great result last time out here, and he's in with a chance, but he must win this. There's no coming second. It's go fast or go home, and this is the battle for the European Championship right now. He takes a wider line, Ronefalk, as he comes in the first corner, and he's there. The pressure's on. Oh, Martin must have thought that he'd got this one won, but now he's having to work very hard for it indeed on the infield through the two hairpins. Just trying to keep the buggies online, trying to react with the terrain and how it throws you about. Time ticking down. These last few seconds for Martin Beer will be going at a snail's pace, and Ronefalk will be looking at the same clock and seeing it disappearing far too quickly. There's half a chance here, you know, for the second place driver, and possibly even for third place as well, as they all still are battling for the championship. The last lap. This is the last lap. It's now or never for Ronefalk, and he has a go, but he doesn't quite get there, and he's rather fortunate to hold on to second place. And in fact, he may not do that, but that battling is exactly what the leader wants to see. Is down the inside. Ronefalk has a big dive, and now there's a clash behind that's taken the two challengers out. Jorn Neumann goes back up into second place, and again Ronefalk has an issue and crashes out on the last corner. I don't think he's even come through third. No, he hasn't. It's Lee Martin who's come through in third position. What a final. What a conclusion to the EFRA 110th four-wheel drive electric off-road championships with Proline and Team Durango. So third place on the podium, now that we've caught our breath, goes to Lee Martin, who may be a little disappointed after his pole position. Jorn Neumann must have thought he had it, but it was snatched away from him by the Czech Republic driver Martin Beer, who takes the EFRA 110 four-wheel drive electric off-road championship with this manoeuvre. And as I said, if you're going to win a European championship, this is the kind of manoeuvre that is worthy of picking up the trophy.